"Return that necklace immediately. It's far too expensive for a secretary like you," she hissed, yanking the diamond pendant from my neck. "Patrick can't afford to waste his money on you." I unclasped it with a calm smile, dropping the necklace into her wrinkled palm. My phone buzzed with a text. "Fraud alert. $250,000 charge attempted on your Visa by spouse. Transaction blocked." Was Patrick stealing from me to buy his mother's approval? I had to find out the devastating truth. Opening the front door, I called out cheerfully, "Honey, I'm home." No response. Strange, his car was in the driveway. I climbed the stairs, the plush carpet muffling my footsteps. Light spilled out from the master bedroom. Creeping closer, my heart pounding, I heard hushed whispers. "Can't keep doing this. Amanda will find out," came Patrick's muffled voice. A woman responded too quietly to make out the words. I pushed open the door, bracing myself. Patrick jumped up from the bed, shirtless, his hair mussed. Vivian, his mother, sat beside him in one of her signature Chanel suits, a smug smile on her Botox-paralyzed face. "What the hell is going on?" I demanded, fighting back tears. "Amanda, I can explain," Patrick stammered. "Let me," Vivian interrupted. "You foolish girl. Did you really think my son would marry you for love? He needed access to your trust fund to pay off his gambling debts. And now that I've finally knocked some sense into him, he's leaving you." The room spun. I steadied myself against the wall. Patrick looked at the floor, avoiding my gaze. "Is this true?" I choked out. "Our whole marriage was a lie?" Patrick said nothing. Vivian smirked. I wanted to slap the patronizing grin off her face. Taking a deep breath, I willed my voice not to break. "I want you out of the house. Both of you. Now." Brushing past them, I grabbed a suitcase and started throwing in clothes. Vivian huffed indignantly, but I blocked out her poisonous words, focusing on the task at hand. 15 minutes later, I watched from the window as Patrick and his mother loaded their Louis Vuitton luggage into his Mercedes. Tires squealing, they sped out of the driveway without a backwards glance. Numbness enveloped me like a weighted blanket as I sank onto the bed. 6 years of marriage, erased in an instant. Had Patrick ever loved me at all? Fresh pain blossomed in my chest as memories flickered through my mind. The night we met, both volunteering at the downtown soup kitchen. The way his blue eyes sparkled when he laughed at my terrible jokes. Our first date at the local carnival, holding hands on top of the Ferris wheel. His proposal, down on one knee in the gazebo where we shared our first kiss. Our fairy tale wedding, twirling on the dance floor as sparklers lit up the night sky. Moving into our dream house, making love in every room as we christened it. Lies. All lies. A sob tore through me. I curled up into a ball and let the tears flow, soaking the pillow. At some point I must have fallen asleep, because I awoke to sunlight streaming in through a crack in the curtains, a pulsing headache behind my eyes. For a blessed second I forgot, reaching for Patrick. Then it all rushed back. The necklace. The text. Vivian's cutting words. I picked up my phone, dozens of missed calls and concerned texts from my parents and best friend filling the screen. I couldn't bear to speak to anyone yet. Pulling on yoga pants and a t-shirt, I ventured downstairs. The house felt cavernous, empty, haunted by the ghost of a love I'd thought was real. In the kitchen, dirty dishes were piled in the sink, a pot of day-old coffee congealing on the counter. Cleaning had always been Patrick's job. Probably the only husbandly duty he actually did, I thought bitterly. Grief and anger warred within me as I robotically loaded the dishwasher, swiped a sponge over the granite countertops, poured the rancid coffee down the drain. The mundane tasks gave me something to focus on besides the ragged hole in my heart. By noon, the entire house was spotless, organized, and utterly empty. Just like me. With nothing left to scrub, I collapsed on the couch, emotionally spent. My stomach growled, reminding me I hadn't eaten since before Vivian's bombshell. I had no appetite, but I knew I had to put something in my body. I opened the fridge, staring blankly at the contents. Containers of leftovers, a carton of eggs, various condiments. Nothing appealed. But wait, there in the back. A pint of mint chocolate chip ice cream, Patrick's favorite. A pint we'd fought over playfully just last week, seeing who could sneak the biggest spoonfuls when the other wasn't looking. "All's fair in love and ice cream," he declared with a grin as he darted away with the tub. I'd laughed and tackled him onto the living room carpet, where we'd proceeded to make love, the ice cream forgotten. The memory pierced me like a dagger to the gut. Doubling over, I took deep breaths until the wave of pain receded to a dull throb. Straightening up, I grabbed the pint and a spoon. Curled up on the couch, I ate the ice cream methodically. Bite by bite, I excised Patrick from my taste buds, my mind, my heart. The cold numbed me from the inside out. I welcomed the respite from feeling. 3 hours later, Judge Judy blaring in the background, I'd made an impressive dent in not only the mint chocolate chip, but also a quart of Rocky Road from the depths of the freezer. I was just scraping the bottom of the cardboard tub when the doorbell rang. Probably a package. I stayed put, in no mood to deal with the outside world. They kept ringing as if their finger was superglued to the bell. Groaning, I peeled myself off the couch. This had better be important. I flung open the door, ready to verbally eviscerate whatever incompetent delivery person was about to ruin my peaceful day of wallowing. My jaw dropped. "Amanda," my visitor said solemnly. "We need to talk. May I come in?" Standing on my porch wasn't a FedEx employee. It was Rick Warren, my financial advisor. His normally jovial face was grave. "Of course, please sit." I ushered him into the living room, hastily clearing a space on the couch. Ice cream tubs littered the coffee table. "Sorry about the mess. It's been a difficult day," he supplied as he perched on the edge of a throw pillow. "Patrick called me." My eyes narrowed. What did that lying scumbag have to say? Let me guess, he wants my trust fund to pay off more of his gambling debts? Or maybe to buy his snake of a mother a new Hermes bag. Rick held up a placating hand. "Actually, he requested to be removed from your accounts. All of them. And he's insisting the house be put solely in your name." I blinked at him, certain I'd misheard. "Come again. Patrick is relinquishing any claim on your assets and the house." He said, and I quote, "Amanda deserves it all. I treated her abominably, and she owes me nothing." He sounded quite repentant. A spark of hope flickered in my chest. Maybe, just maybe, Patrick felt guilty. Maybe he even still loved me, despite his horrific betrayal. I quickly doused that treacherous flicker. He'd made his true colors known. I wouldn't be fooled again. "Do it," I told Rick firmly. "Take his name off everything." Rick nodded. "I'll get the paperwork started immediately." He hesitated. "Amanda, I've known you and Patrick a long time. If you need anything, my wife would be happy to come over." I shook my head. "I appreciate the offer, but right now I just need to be alone. To process." "I understand." Rick stood. "We'll talk again soon. And for what it's worth, I'm truly sorry this happened to you. You deserve so much better." "Thank you," I managed, blinking back tears. I walked him to the door where he surprised me with a fatherly hug before heading to his car. Closing the door softly, I leaned my forehead against the cool wood. Alone again. The silence pressed down on me. I wandered through the house like a wraith, at a loss for what to do with myself. Each room held echoes of my life with Patrick, mocking me with their normalcy. In the living room, the plaid blanket where we used to snuggle up for movie nights. The kitchen, scene of so many botched dishes and flower fights. The patio where we hosted summer barbecues, the grill master and hostess with the mostest. Memories taunted me from every corner. Finally, unable to bear it anymore, I grabbed my purse and fled. I drove aimlessly, the monotony of the road soothing my ragged edges. When I glanced at the dash, I realized I'd been driving for over 2 hours, the sky outside deepening to dusk. I pulled over at a scenic overlook, red cliffs dropping away to a yawning canyon below. The sun brushed the horizon, painting the world in shades of fire. Leaning against the hood of my car, I let the vast beauty of the landscape fill my senses, push out the pain. In that moment, I felt very small. My problems, insurmountable as they seemed, were dwarfed by the millennia of stone, the timeless cycle of the sun. I breathed in the cooling air, the scent of pine and earth. Slowly, quietly, something unfurled inside my chest. Not peace exactly, but resolve. I would get through this. I would wake up tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. I would feel this pain, and I would heal. I was more than Patrick's wife, his victim. I was Amanda fucking Thompson, and I would rise from these ashes. The sun slipped below the horizon, the sky bruising into twilight. Darkness fell and stars winked into existence, ancient and infinite. I tilted my head back, gazing up at their cold, lovely light. Once, I'd believed my future was as mysterious and promising as the night sky. Now it terrified me with its blankness, a new moon. But that just meant there was room to dream, to create my own constellations. My life was a canvas, primed for a new story. A better one. I walked to the edge of the lookout, the toes of my sneakers hanging over miles of empty air. Wind whipped my hair across my face, dried the last of my tears. Slowly, deliberately, I unclasped the delicate chain around my neck. The diamond pendant Patrick's mother had returned to me glinting in my palm. False wealth, tainted love. I didn't need this anvil masquerading as a trinket. Pulling back my arm, I drew in a deep breath and flung the necklace into the abyss. It disappeared soundlessly, swallowed up by the uncaring night. Something eased in my chest, a pressure valve released. I felt lighter. Ready. Turning on my heel, I strode back to my car, chin held high, eyes on the slice of moon, a Cheshire cat's smile. Patrick Whitaker didn't break me. If anything, he freed me. I revved the engine, flipped on the brights, and steered toward home, toward my future. This was the prologue to my new adventure, page 1 of the next chapter. And for the first time in a long time, I felt excited to see how my story would unfold.